Let us pray. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be pleasing in your sight, O God, our strength and our salvation. Amen. In the middle of the road of my life, I awoke in a dark wood where the true way was wholly lost. So begins Dante's most famous work, the Inferno. And these words became the inspiration for a book by a United Church of Christ pastor Eric Ellis called The Gifts of the Dark Wood, 7 Blessings for Soulful Skeptics and Other Wanderers. This Lent, we're allowing ourselves to get a little lost with Dante and Ellis, to wander a bit off the beaten Lenten path and find some inspiration in some strange and surprising places. Last Sunday, we looked for the surprising gift to be found in the difficult experience of facing temptation. And this Sunday, we are facing a more terrifying dark place, the experience of emptiness. To turn the UCC phrase that I used at the beginning of the service on its head, whoever you are and wherever you are on life's journey, it is most certainly true that sometime, somewhere, and inevitably at the worst possible moment, emptiness will find you. Like the monsters under our childhood bed or hiding in our closets. Emptiness emerges when we are at our most vulnerable and alone. Emptiness itself is really just a void, an empty place. An empty place in our deepest core. But it's what comes out of that void that is so terrifying. For some of us, it's a well of shame. For others, a well of loneliness. It can manifest as despair, or crippling anxiety, or the internal critic that never lets us rest. At its most powerful, it might even sing the siren song of suicidal thoughts and impulses. For the littlest cricket, it was the froggish voice that told him he was the ugliest creature alive and made him hate the very sight of his own reflection in Swamp-Swollen Pond. And because the littlest cricket allowed the frog to drain him of his joy in being who he was in all his crickety glory, he couldn't see his unique gift of making music. Our cricket was truly lost in the dark swamp of emptiness. So emptied out of self-worth that he was literally unable to be himself, to be who and what God created him to be. How many of you have a frog or two in your life who have told you awful things about yourself that you have believed? Don't we all have a frog or two whispering stories in our ears about how worthless we are, how we don't measure up, how we'll never make anything of ourselves? Internal tapes like these can paralyze us with fear and doubt and make us afraid, most tragically, to open ourselves up to intimacy with others or even to God. If God or those we care most about really see us as we are, that can be unthinkable. Moses, the greatest prophet in the Hebrew Bible, our Old Testament, was no stranger to the dark wood. Before Moses was the great liberator the lawgiver. He was Moses, the lawbreaker. Moses, the exile. Moses, who ran away rather than face the consequences of his actions. Hiding out in the wilderness of Midian, he tried to make a new life for himself. But he still carried the burden of shame and guilt that had descended upon him when he killed that Egyptian. And though he was fortunate enough to find a new family, he must have been lonely. Lonely for his people, his family, his city, and the lush Nile Delta where he had grown up. His self-esteem tank was on empty, and he was quite sure when God appeared to him in that burning bush and called him to lead God's people out of Egypt, he was quite sure that he was the victim of mistaken identity. Who, me? God? No, you've got the wrong guy. You can't possibly mean me, the runaway, me, the fugitive, me, the murderer. I am the very last person that Pharaoh will listen to. Moses replayed all his tapes of doubt and shame for God because he just knew God was making a mistake. Moses was so lost, so empty, that he thought he knew himself better than God knew him. And oh, that man could try God's patience. It takes 2 chapters and 3 miracles in Exodus for God to convince Moses to accept his destiny. And believe me, you got the very short version. Moses and the littlest cricket are great examples of the monstrous side of feeling empty. So empty that we withdraw into a wilderness of self-pity and self-doubt and throw our most authentic gifts back into God's face. But there's another side to emptiness that is rarely recognized, and it's here that hidden treasure lies. Few find this treasure because it can be hard to distinguish this treasure from the monstrous aspects of emptiness. As Elvis writes in our modern testimony, one of the strange paradoxes of the gift of emptiness is that it can appear to those still standing outside the dark wood as a negation of self-worth and identity. Yet the experience of those on the inside is not negation, but fulfillment of these very things. They discover what Jesus meant when he said, "Whoever tries to preserve their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life will preserve it." Now the key to understanding this head-scratching paradoxical saying of Jesus, which you might call a Christic koan, is in another verse in Luke that follows after another retelling of this same passage where Jesus says, "For what does it profit you if you gain the whole world, but lose or forfeit yourself? What good does it do us to gain everything we crave, all the things we fear we don't have or don't deserve, if we lose our souls in the process?" And what would happen? Can you imagine what would happen if we could get free of the fear that makes us hold on to the wrong life with all our might? In Jesus' statement that we have to lose our lives to save them, Jesus offers us an amazing gift. He's offering to exchange our fears for something Ellis calls flow. Flow, Ellis says, is what results when you stop obsessing over your need to survive or to be right discover that you have been given distinctive gifts and abilities. These gifts and abilities bring you alive in this world. And it's when you discover that these are accessible only when you can let go of that need for always being right or perfect. When our minds are clouded by self-doubt or self-judgment or blame, we can't see the gifts and the calling that are our very birthright. We can't see the most important contributions we have to make to the world. And we also can't face hard truths about ourselves that we need to get clear on to make those contributions. The gift of emptiness is the discovery that when we get really honest with ourselves and God, when we face that chasm inside, we finally are able to make room for God to get in. God created the world out of nothing, Martin Luther said. And as long as we are nothing, God can make something out of us. Now I know there's some danger here. There's danger in thinking of ourselves as nothing. Hold on a minute, you might be thinking, didn't you just say that we shouldn't be filled with self-doubt and shame? Well, of course, that's true. But if by becoming nothing, we mean we're surrendering our false self and making room for our true nature to emerge out of the pregnant emptiness where our soul meets God, that's something else entirely. Ellis calls this black hole faith, as in cosmic black holes. It's all about confronting that most pregnant and dangerous Christian symbol of all, the cross. Just as everything around it gets sucked into the black hole's center, a point of infinite density known as a singularity, when we encounter the cross, it pulls us into a confrontation with the brokenness of the world and our own brokenness. We are pulled toward that singularity point where all humanity knows itself as one, where we know ourselves with complete honesty as both crucifier and crucified. When we reach that point of singularity, when we can accept the weight of our brokenness, Ellis admits it becomes clear that I have no inherent ability to find my true path in this world or follow it on my own. If I am to experience what it is like to be fully alive before I die, he writes, I must depend on a power far greater than myself to make the journey with me. I have been in this place. I'm sure many of you have been as well. At a number of points in my life, for various apparent reasons, I've fallen into the void. I have found myself so trapped in the well of emptiness that only God could draw me out. And it was at moments like that I knew both the cross and the true meaning of grace. Each time I found that in order to save my life, I had to be willing to lose it. In other words, I had to be willing to give up my preconceptions of who I was or who I was supposed to be. I had to loosen my grip on my view of reality. A view of reality which in that moment was slowly killing me. But here's the best part. As Ellis found in his own life, at our place of greatest despair over ourselves and our abilities, we find a presence who loves us chooses relationship over perfection. Remember the littlest cricket? Do you remember what saved him? Listening to the old one, the wise old spider, looking into the mirror of the pond surface with her and seeing what? Two beautiful friends. Relationship. And when he could see two beautiful friends, his ugliness began to fade away. Insecure, broken down Moses, throwing in God's face every reason he's not worthy, until finally God's confidence and insistent call fills him up. And before he even fully believes in himself, he is consenting to God. He's consenting to his life. He is consenting to use the gifts God has given him. And so, home he goes, to face his greatest fear and his greatest foe, and to take up his true place, his true calling in the world. As we continue our journey into the dark wood of Lent, I invite you to have the courage to face into your own well of emptiness and find there a presence who loves you beyond your imagining, who chooses relationship with you over perfection every time. It's a presence who just needs a little empty space in your heart to get in. And so I invite you to have the courage this Lent to open up that empty space to God and invite God in. And when you do, don't forget and don't be afraid to look into the reflecting pool of your soul. For there you will find two beautiful friends and your highest and